the soap vine. Let's take a pointing out. I'll just point at the back of the tree, right?
Yeah.
How much while in here? Come closer. When you finish. Huh? You're not stopping, you're just taking a shot.
I didn't have to come out.
But it seems like you're snapping, you're going to come and let you not to take a girl. No.
Okay. Be in the shop. What?
Alright.
Something pretty. Okay, come get closer so you allow. Come in. Go down. Dig it. Should I go down?
I'll take 2 shots. It's not a good fire.
Okay.
Right. You know you're looking for tears. Hey. After your own mission, come look by the end.
Okay.
I want to get it. Sorry. I didn't get it first, I just get some bush. And I road side. Any? Go inside there. Don't go to the road, you know. I don't have that. Okay. Pieces. Pieces. Huh?
That's not a pleasant thing to say. Cheeses.
Yeah, go ahead anytime.
You're walking on.
Did you go ahead, Anna?
Yeah.
That's what move from the boy. I think you're going through there, isn't it? Careful. Monica! When you enter Trinity Hill, one of the hunters show us the water vine before it's here water. But some of them look similar, but it's only one of them is red. Now water is be running through it, but you have to cut both ends real fast. Well, when you cut one end, the water is sucked to the next end. So in order to get the water out, when you cut one, you have to cut the next one fast and hold on for it. If you see action in the bush, boy. That was, and it tastes real good, boy. You know, it tastes like young coconut water. See how you I want to put those in the trunk, please. You think, man, forget that piece of the vine and that, and the chocolate coming on with that. Vex. I think the guy here is
That's okay. That's okay. Ladies. All right. Kayak.
Hey Patrick, look boy.
I'd get
So where did you see it, Patrick? Traffic in the bush?
This is the leaf of the matchroot we're looking at here, right? The matchroot is a common vine in these mountains, and the root is known as a treatment, treating many different diseases, right? It's very good in treating a woman's problem, for instance. If women have fibroids, it's one of the herbs I use in the preparation for fibroids. Now, or if women can't have babies, for instance, if they're having blocked tubes, that sort of situation, the root of the matchroot is very good in helping to clear the blocked tubes. Now, the leaf is very distinctive, right? It has a little notch, it's somewhat shaped like a lungs, right? It has a little notch shape, it's very distinctive. And the leaves sometimes get much longer than this. As we get to the moister parts of the valley and up here in the mountains, you get much larger leaves. The leaves are somewhat thick and leathery when they're very large. Okay? Now the flowers, you hardly see the flowers, but this is the flower you're looking at here, right? It's a very distinctive flower, right? There is a beautiful Chinese verse that goes something like this. The master's gone alone, herb picking somewhere on the mount, clouds hidden, whereabouts unknown. Well, today it's a bit different. The master's in the mountain and he has company. On my right, I have Claire. I have Delis Villarreal, a herbalist from Valencia. I have Janelle, a final year student at the university, who is spending her vacation working with us. And I have Hema, who's also working with us. And both Hema and Claire are graduates in botany from the university. Today, we are on the pass that divides the Blanchisseuse Road, the Blanchisseuse Road, right? We're on the Blanchisseuse Road at the point where the road passes just up on the summit of the mountain. And we're taking a look at some of the wildflowers, especially the medicinal herbs here in the mountain. This exercise is meant to introduce the staff to some of these herbs. And I've brought along Delis, who lives at Valencia, to assist the employees in getting a sense of the value and beauty of some of these herbs and wildflowers. We're standing here next to a clump of wild cane. So I'd like to call up on Delis to tell these young ladies something about the value of the wild cane.
This wild cane is used for cooling. You can cut it up into small pieces and wash it, and then you boil it. When you boil it, you put it to cool and you drink it so it passes through the body. Right? This is called wild cane, and we call it baby cane too. There's the white flowers, and then it also brings forth a fruit, a sort of reddish fruit, red and pink fruit color.
Okay, Madalyn.
Yes.
So you just use the more or less
Stalk.
the stalk
Yes.
of the wild cane.
Not the leaf.
Not the leaves
No.
or the flowers.
No.
Or the fruit.
No.
Those don't have any medicinal value.
The flowers, when it brings forth the fruit, you can clean your fingernails with the fruit. Okay.
Okay, Madalyn, do you see anything else around here at medicinal value?
Yes. I see a fern called the Osmond. This is what I speaking about, the Osmondale. This is the young bud that is coming out. This plant is very good for when snake bites you. You can clean down the whole tree, take out all the outer part, and there is an inner part that is white and a light pink. You will take that and grate it, and after grating it, you mix it with a red powder and to put it onto the mapipi bites. This is called Osmondale, a big name, but they call it is a pickery tree, it's a thorny tree, it has thorns. So you cannot hold it with your hand, you have to hold it with a glove or something. And I guarantee you this because I know it.
Now, when you say red powder, what are you talking about?
A red powder,
That's something you buy in the drugstore?
yes.
Okay.
to put with it. And
That's what it's called? It's just called red powder?
Yes. And this, and
So, you
black.
stripping, are you stripping this long stalk, or are you stripping off
the
all the...
body of the tree.
Uh-huh.
Body of the tree, the whole tree,
Uh-huh.
you cut it with a cutlass down and peel it
Oh,
off.
okay, so you're moving all the other branches, so to
Outer
speak?
stalk, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the inward, that is what you're going to grate.
The young
inward
stalk?
is soft.
Just the young stalk that's coming up the middle?
Yes,
So you're grating that?
yeah.
Are you scraping off the outside?
You have to cut it, it's half scrape.
Okay.
have
So
to
you're
cut
cutting this young stalk,
Yeah.
and then you
You're peeling it
peel off the outside?
Right.
Okay.
And there's a wrong thing then, the body of the tree,
Okay.
the inner part, you will take that and grate it.
Okay.
This is too small to
Okay.
to strip.
When you said inner part, just this...
Not this,
Not
the
this.
tree, the whole tree, the Osmondale tree.
Uh-huh. So the heart down,
Yes,
down
yes.
inside is what you're grating?
Right.
So you're not grating the young parts?
No, you can't grate that.
Oh, okay.
Right. And you mix it with the red powder and a pinch of lard and put it onto where the mapipi snake bites you. Should I say something about
Yeah, go right
my
ahead.
son?
Uh-huh.
I have a son. His name is Kenneth James. He's in his 40s. And 3 years ago, a mapipi snake stung him up at Valencia. And this is what we use. And this helped to bring him back. He's alive today. So that's why I could tell anyone I'm sure of what I'm saying. I'm very much sure.
One of the beautiful things about driving along the Blanchisseuse Road is the variety of wildflowers that come into bloom as we go through the different seasons. Now, we are in the month of June, and the rainy season is just upon us. If we had passed here 2 or 3 months ago, this entire field here of the black stick, or crepcock, sorry, not crepcock, the black stick or zokobo, which is this plant here, this entire field would have been in bloom 2 or 3 months ago. And here we can see just an old flower, the remnants of an old flowering stalk, right? I'll break it so you can get a closer look at it. Okay? It's an inflorescence with several flowers, and this is a single flower, right? So all these flowers here have already fallen off. All the flowers that were here have fallen off, right? And during the dry season, the entire stalk is full of flowers. And it's one of the most beautiful sights. And this plant, the black stick or zokobo, as it's called, is one of the most important flowers for hummingbirds during the dry season. Now, it's very interesting that many of these plants are known by different names. Now, I know it by black stick. It's called black stick because the stalk, you won't get a clear sense of it here, but as the plant gets older, the stalk darkens. So it gets black, literally black in the very hard plant sometimes. So it's called black stick for that reason. It's also called cobobone Zokobo is the pattern of a kobo bone, the bone of a kobo or vulture, and it's a very hard stem. It snaps easily, right? It snaps easily, but it's very hard, right? So it's called kobo bone. Now, Mardelis knows this plant by a different name, so she'll tell you about the name she knows this plant by.
I know it by Quebra, in a place called Santa Cruz. That is where I learned that place, Santa Cruz. And Mr. Jeffrey Stallmeyer estate, under the cocoa has a lot of it, and that's where I know it.
Yeah, Claire, that's not Claire. Janelle, I think Janelle was mentioning that a while ago.
Yes.
That
It's found going along.
Alongside the road.
Yeah.
And
What used to be the cocoa plantation in Santa Cruz on Stallmeyer's estate.
yes.
now it's quite interesting. If you go through most of the valleys of the northern range, you'd find this plant. And it's quite possible that all of Santa Cruz, all of that valley at one time would have been loaded with a black stick, the same way you can find it growing here. Okay. Another interesting plant here is this weed. It's a member of the Solanaceae family. That's the family to which the peppers and the tomatoes and melangen belongs.
Yes.
And I'll have Mardelis talk a bit about this plant.
This plant, when people, drinkers that drink very strong, and doctors say that they're missing fiber around the liver, you can take this leaf. You have to cut it with a scissors because you cannot hold it with your hand. It has stone on it. And you will put it under the pipe and wash it. And you pick 1, 2, 3 leaves. And you well wash them, and you will boil water and throw on it into a pot or a pan, whatever have you. And you will drink a teacup full once a day or twice a day for approximately a month, and you will see a change in your health.
So you're saying that then that this plant, if there's damage to the liver,
Yes.
this plant will lead to a regeneration of the damaged tissue.
Yes, this plant.
Okay. And what size leaf do you use?
You mix the leaf. You take a big one, or 2 big one and a small one.
Okay.
You mix them.
Any particular reason?
Well, you know, some people will be afraid to use it when you tell them to use 3 large leaves, you know, and
Okay.
sometimes you don't get all the large leaves
At the same time? Okay.
It also bears a little fruit, a
Okay.
little berries that we eat.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you call this plant? What's the name you call it?
I call it a picker. It's
Just a picker,
berry,
okay.
berry. Yeah, little berry.
People also call it cocoa shot,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Cocoa
sweet.
shot?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's sweet.
Well, they call it cocoa shot on account of the thorns on the leaf, right? So the cocoa shot means, anyone? Okay, what is shot?
Yeah.
Cat
Uh-huh.
and cocoa?
I don't know. Cocoa is cocoa.
Okay, cocoa is cocoa, all right. Anyhow, it's the name cocoa shot is meant to refer to the thorns or the teeth, which are found along the surface, both the upper surface and the lower surface of the leaves. Okay, and the thorns are also found along the leaves, along the stems. Okay, this is the cocoa shot. It's a Solanum species, Solanum strammonifolium. Okay. Some of the more interesting flowers that we find up in these mountains belong to a group of plants known as the Melastomataceae. Right? The red flowers we're seeing up here, I don't know the actual species. I can't recall the actual species. But this is one of the members of the Melastome family that we're looking at. And of course, the Melastome family is characterized by very distinct, almost parallel venation. If you look across the street here, if you look across the road, you can get a closer view of another member of the Melastome family. Okay, and if we come closer, we get a distinct sense of the almost parallel venation, very strong venation that characterizes this family, the Melastome family. Now there's one member of this family known as that one. It's Myconia acinodendron. And mothers would tell us about that plant sometime later this morning. I thought I should at least show you all now the very distinct features of the Melastome family. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, just across the road, we see another very important family of plants in this forest. It's known as the Rubiaceae family. This family includes plants like the Ixora and the coffee. And here we can see one plant. It's Palicurius, a Palicurius species, and very attractive flowers. And this is known as the wild Ixora. Okay. Just a bit further, up on the edge of the bush there, you can see a plant known as the hot lips. Okay. It's called hot lips because of the arrangement of the flowers, the inflorescence. And if you can get a little closer sometime, you'll get a very clear picture as to why it's called hot lips. Okay? There are two varieties of wild cane. I need to make this very clear. There's the red variety and there's the white variety. This here is the red variety. This is known as Custus cylindricus. And you can see the inflorescence. The inflorescence is a red stalk. Okay. Now this variety, if you look at the stems here are much thinner than in the other species, which is the Custus arabicus. Custus arabicus makes a white flower. Okay? So that's the main difference. Apart from which, the stems of the white flowers, the white flower variety, are much hairier. Okay? So the white variety is much more robust, both in terms of the size of the plant, the thickness of the stem, and the white variety is also much hairier than the red variety. But they are both as effective, equally effective in terms of as a coolant. Okay, this is another variety of the wild cane. Okay, now this variety hardly ever gets as big, as robust as the variety with the white flower. The variety with the white flower is known as Custus arabicus, whereas this species is known as Custus cylindricus. Okay, now this variety, the cylindricus, Custus cylindricus, has a red flowering stalk, and I think in this one here you can see there's a single flower in this one.
Yeah.
Right? Up here, there's a single flower. And usually there's just one flower opening every day. The flower opens, lasts for a day, and it falls off. The next day, another flower would open. And this is the red variety, as I mentioned earlier. Okay? Another distinctive feature is that the white variety tends to be much more hairy along the stems and leaves compared to the red variety. But they are both.
So, Madam,
Yes.
is this what they call the mat root?
Yes, dear.
What is it used for?
It's used for many things. It's used for worms, and it's used for belly as well, belly pain and other different things. Some of them are really can't give you offhand, right? But I know it's good for the human body.
When you say belly pain, what kind of belly pain?
Abdomen
you mean?
pain. When you get up and you have a bad tummy pain, and you're not pregnant, right? So you can boil a little piece about an inch so. You kind of crack it a little bit.
Of the vine itself
No,
or of the
there's
leaf?
a little tanya underneath.
Oh, so we're looking at the root
Yes.
in specific.
This is the leaves.
Oh,
Is it? Is it?
alright.
Yeah. But it's bitter. But it will pass the pain.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for sharing with us.
Yeah, it's great to be well prepared in the reading.
Yeah.
All right.
We're happy.
In view now is a wildflower known as the Wolfia baccata. It's just a pretty yellow composite.
Just in case you wonder why it's called the rainforest, I don't have to say anything else. Now Ellis was saying something up in the bush, which didn't get a chance to finish explaining. But there's some caterpillars, some butterflies that lay their eggs on the leaves of this plant, and the caterpillars feed on the leaves. And they extract all the poisons from the alkaloids from the leaves. And people gather these leaves, they gather the caterpillars, soak them in rum. And unless you have a bad case of glycolic, you can just drink a tablespoon of that extract of the caterpillar soaking in rum, and out and out, like within 2 hours or so, the glycolic just disappears. This is the root itself. Yeah, this is the root. This root here, this is a piece of a root, and look how fat it is. I mean, most times you'll see matwood this size in the forest, right? But if you really know where to look, you can find roots as thick as this. Now this root here is probably close to 100 years old. This is just an average age. Now why I said so, this particular root, the gentleman who collected this root, 15 years ago, he saw the same root, and it was almost the same size. The same plant, the same particular root, the same plant. 15 years ago he saw it, and it was the same, almost the same size. So in 15 years it hardly, made any difference in the growth. So when you compare to something like this now, right? Now something I should mention as well is that depending on where the plant is growing, the root becomes very, very big and may stay very stunted. So if for instance it's growing between the rocks, you might get a small root like this, but it may be very, very old as well. Whereas sometimes you may get roots this size, this thickness, and they may be about 20, 30 years old if they're growing in like loose soil, sandy soil, right? Okay. This is another very interesting root. It's called sarsaparilla. We didn't get a chance to see any of this today in the forest, but it's a very spiny plant. It's a vine, very spiny vine, and even the root has tiny spines, very tiny spines along the root itself. And this root is used in making a tonic, and what are called Vitalex, right? Which is has a very powerful tonic effect. And this is one of the main ingredients in that product. There's another ingredient in the Vitalex. It's called mapipi root, or strong root. Right? It's called mapipi root because it's useful as an antidote against the bite of the mapipi. So in the forest and mapipi bites you, you can chew this root, and it will help to alleviate all the discomfort caused by the snake bite, and to remove the toxins from the system as well. I'll have Mandela tell you a bit more about her experience with the root of the mapipi root.
This root is called mapipi root because it is used to make snake medicine. You get the mapipi root and you put it into a bottle, cut it up into pieces, and you put other things in it like the toshan, the bacano root, and alive scorpions into the bottle. And when snakes bite you, you will take a drink of it, but you have to put white rum with it, either puncheon, or they have a distilled rum they call white rum from the factory. But you have a measurement to take to drink them. It must be a wine glass about 2 inches with the substance, and you will drink that. This will help you to get to the hospital, or you might even have to go to the hospital for that matter, right? But yeah, you use the mapipi root, the toshan, the
mapipi toshan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you use the bongo mix they call wild oak.
Yeah.
You mix it together.
What part of the bongo mix is?
Seeds.
The seeds, okay.
You grind the seeds. You dry it, and you grind it and put it all into the bottle. And you don't need to go to the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll be safe.
Okay. We want to look at this plant. This is something called Mardi Gras, right? So I'll allow her to speak first, and then I would speak about it.
Mardi Gras is not only a leaf, it also have a seed, and it is be a fruit. They make ink with it also, red ink. But this is good for like if you walk too much or you have swollen part of your body like your legs, you would get the young leaf that is in the middle and you would take a knife and take out the vein that is in the middle of the leaf. And you would wipe it dry and you would band your legs with it or your feet, whatever, and go to sleep. And when you wake up the next morning, all the swelling will go down. And that is true because my husband, his name is Sylvester Villarreal. He's not around with us now. But there were times when I was trying to get something to carry down the swelling of his legs. He couldn't stand up. And I used this and it helped him.
Yes. Well, apart from what she's saying there, I also use this in treating cases of arthritis and rheumatism. Right? You strip the leaves, as she said.
Yes.
And I also strip the stem. Okay? Now this plant here, this is a vine in the forest. A liane from the forest called Bejuco di Moreno. Now it's called Bejuco di Moreno. Bejuco means vine, and Moreno means brown. When you boil, well, the vine is brown on the outside, as you can see. When you boil the vine, it yields a brown sap, brown liquid. And that liquid, combined with the leaves and the stem of the Bejuco di Moreno, and cloves or spice even, soaked in puncheon or biram, can be used to soak the area, sap the area, and that relieves pains with arthritis and rheumatism. Oh, this plant, the Bejuco di Moreno, it's also called 7 veins of life, or 9 veins of life, or 21 veins of life. Right? Now if you look at the cross section here, you're seeing 3 segments, 3 sections, and these are the veins running through the stem, through which the sap rises in the plant. Right? Now, if you just want to say this, if I were to take this piece, I can split it into 2. Right? Notice. I can take this piece